Guitar Geekery. Today I'm doing just a quick for fun video to see how much, if any, difference there is between a fully hollow guitar, a semi-hollow guitar, and a solid body electric guitar, at least as far as what you hear, what the audience hears on their end. In the room playing them, unplugged, yes, there's a big difference between the three guitars. This guitar is almost loud enough to be like a acoustic on its own. It's about halfway to acoustic volume. It surprises me. The semi-hollow, about in between, and then the solid body is like any other solid body. You can noodle sitting on the couch, you'll hear the notes, but it's not going to be loud and ring. But they all three have uncovered pickups. This one still has the stock pickups, and I can't remember if it's on Nico 2 or 5 between the other two guitars, but they do have aftermarket cheap pickups, so those are factors in there. But let's just get into some sounds. For the rig, I'm using a AC tone pedal as the preamp. Then I have that running to an impulse response and the more radar for both the power amp and the speaker sim. So that's what you hear. That's the rig I've found to be the most consistent, and it still sounds like a real amp. So anyways, like and subscribe, thumbs up, you know what to do. And then when you hear distortion, it's a Perco Rat. Okay, so quite frankly, I'll talk from a playing experience now, but then I'm going to cut in another video. I'm going to need to go uh, edit this video a bit, listen to these back to back, and kind of give my thoughts on the audience perspective on what it sounds like at the end. But from a player perspective, I mean, the fully hollow, you definitely feel that vibrating more on you. It doesn't quite have as much sustain as you're playing it. And then the semi-hollow, I think, really is the best of both worlds. And this guitar, as long as you don't have microphonic pickups, the semi-hollow thing, I mean, I'm not playing heavy metal level gains, so feedback's never really been that big of an issue. And then solid body feedback really isn't an issue. It's definitely a much more like snappier feel to it. Like it's a much more immediate response to the pick attack to what you hear. And these pickups, I think, they're a little closer to the PAF style, I think. They have a lot of high end to them. So, yeah, let me go back and listen to it, and I'll cut back in with my thoughts after listening to it. So editing Chuck here the next day after having listened to the samples back to back to back and forming my thoughts on it. On the clean and lower gain tone, there definitely is a much bigger difference. The opening jam tracks, I had a lot of gain on it, and I didn't really hear that much of a difference between them on that, especially in a mix. So take that into consideration. I think Glenn Fricker kind of pushes that point a lot, where once you get a lot of gain, all the other stuff doesn't matter as much. But on the clean and the lower gain settings, yeah, there's a much bigger difference, I think, between the three styles of guitar. Definitely playing them felt a lot different as far as the amount of resonance you feel. And honestly, I was hearing the strings of the fully hollow one, like, because I play through earbuds that are pretty good noise canceling, but I was still hearing the acoustic guitar through it. So that kept throwing me off a little bit, actually. But it was definitely, the recorded sound was a much more mellow sound, not as much high-end attack, but it also kind of like bloomed a little slower, I thought. And it didn't have as much sustain, and that's to be expected with a fully hollow guitar. That's not what they're known for. The semi-hollow, I think, is the best of both worlds. It had the most mid-range, like, grunt to it. So I know a lot of people say the 335 style is the ultimate guitar, and they may have a point there. It kind of has the best of both worlds. And then the fully hollow one was a lot more treble attack, and it had not as much low end to it. I don't think it sustained as much as the 335, the semi-hollow one either, so that's an interesting... Maybe the center block is most of the sustain, and the rest of the guitar doesn't really matter. I don't know. But let me know what you think. I've rambled long enough here, and this is a much closer shot of my face than I'm usually used to seeing, and it's freaking me out a little bit. So, anyways, like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I think like and give me a thumbs up is the same thing, and I always say that, and it makes no sense. I don't know. I'm an idiot sometimes. Anyways, nice to see you all again. Take it easy.